Jay here from Stretford, Paddock. This is the Paper Talk. As you can see, I'm in the studio. We are live, which means you lot need to get involved in the chat and the comments. Loads of stories to get through, so we'll be cracking on. Obviously, we're going to be talking about Kobbie Mainoo. Talk a little bit about his performance for England. He was instrumental in getting the Three Lions to the Euros final. I just cannot say enough good things about Kobbie Mainoo, but I'm going to try. Also, we're talking about Kobbie Mainoo and Joshua Zirkzee. You've probably seen the picture doing the rounds on our thumbnail, as he had a little word there with the Dutch striker and said, come on, come to Old Trafford, come and play alongside me, son. You know it makes sense. Plus, we'll have a little bit of a Mason Greenwood update and an update on some of the other targets we've been linked with as well. So make sure you are hitting like, share and subscribe. Let's start off with Mason Greenwood. I can see there's a load of people in the chat and I'll get to you guys in a minute. Thank you for getting involved. Let's start off with Mason Greenwood there. There's a story in the Mirror and it's just talking about the sort of Marseille stance on Mason Greenwood. It says Marseille stance on ditching move after brutal statement. Marseille have agreed to a deal to sign Man United forward Mason Greenwood on a permanent transfer, but the move still has several hurdles to overcome before it is made official, and Italian side Lazio also remain keen on the 22-year-old. Marseille have not been deterred in their quest to sign Mason Greenwood, despite fierce criticism from the city's mayor, Benoit Payan. I think that's how you pronounce his name. Forgive me if I'm getting that completely wrong. I've literally never heard of him until this morning. Speaking to RMC Sport earlier this week, Payan made it clear that he strongly opposes the transfer after the League One giants sought a bid accepted by United. Payan said, "I do not want my club to be covered in shame. It is not acceptable." There's also been the hashtag Greenwood not welcome trending, but it looks like it's going to go ahead anyway. Looks like Marseille is sort of saying, well, we don't care about the backlash. We're just going to crack on and sign the player. This is going to be a cloud that's going to hang over Mason Greenwood for the rest of his career. It just is. And there's going to be some clubs that stomach it. There's going to be clubs that don't want to be associated with him because of it. Manchester United don't want to be associated with him because of it. Because if it wasn't for the issues that have gone on, and you know what I'm on about, he'd still be a Manchester United player, because based on his performances, you wouldn't have got rid of him. You certainly wouldn't have got rid of him for 23 million quid. He would have been at Manchester United probably for the rest of his career if what happened hadn't have happened. But it did, so he's not. So there is going to be a bit of a backlash wherever he goes. Hopefully it gets resolved, and I think the move is on the verge of getting done anyway. I think it's all but done. He can move on, United can move on, and we can all move on as a fan base as well, because it's been a very sort of destructive topic, hasn't it? It's sort of splintered the United fan base. I think the vast majority of Manchester United fans I've spoken to, anyway, I can't speak for everyone, were like, look, it's better for all concerned if Mason Greenwood moves on. We don't really want him in a club. There's a minority that do want him in a club, or there's a certain section of fan base that are like, look, he didn't get found guilty, we want him in a club, he's a good player, all the rest of it. I just think it's a mess. It became a mess. The club handled it shambolically. I keep saying this. Those statements the club put out were just awful. So I think him moving on to Marseille just sort of draws a line under it, and we can all get on with our lives. And look, it will rear his head. If he scores loads of goals for Marseille, which I think he will, people are going to start looking and going, we should never have got rid of Mason Greenwood and all the rest of it. But we have, and he's gone. He's almost gone. So hopefully we can move on. Sam 3 Gold says N'Golo Kobbie. He's better than N'Golo Kante. Paul Simpson, Peter, Jacoya Trot, Kevin H. all saying good morning Jay. Aidan Quinn says, love you Jay, thank you my brother, love to you too. Kevin H. says Kobbie for president, why not? Jacoya Trot says Mainoo is the only thing about England I'll support. I kind of get it, right? Because I've had a bit of a weird relationship with England myself, where I've always been an England fan, but not as passionate an England fan as I'm a United fan. But it's been difficult at times. Like, I'm old enough to remember the effigy of David Beckham and the dartboard on the back of the Daily Mirror, or whatever it was. The stick that Phil Neville got when he gave away the penalty in the Euros in 2000. The sort of stand up if you hate Man U nonsense that you used to see in here at England games. Also, more recently, the abuse that Jadon Sancho and Marcus Rashford got. It can be difficult at times being a proper England fan when you support Manchester United, because there seems to be this sort of, almost resistance and hatred of United by a lot of the England fan base. But I am English, I do want England to win, and also there are a lot of Manchester United players that do play for England, that have played for England, that you want to succeed, and Kobbie Mainoo is one of them. And I've gone full player FC with Kobbie Mainoo. I just absolutely love the kid, and I want him to lift that trophy. So I'm buzzing for him, and I'm buzzing the fact that he played so well. Paul Gill says morning from Toronto, Jay. Sheet Game says morning, Jay. Someone says happy birthday, Mr. Brian Casey. Happy birthday, Brian Casey. Jace Parker says, morning Jay, is our club finally being run like a serious club? It looks like it, doesn't it? They're certainly making changes. Was it 2 of the long-term physios left last night? Big changes. I'm not going to sit here and pretend that I think that's amazing that I wanted those physios gone. I never heard of him before last night, but it does look like Manchester United are making changes. It looks like Ineos have got a plan, and that's what we want to see. We want to see some plans in place that make sense. Some of these people I've never heard of, but that's okay. I shouldn't have heard of them, but the club should have, and they're getting in people that are the right people for the jobs, and it makes sense. Even some of the transfers make sense. I'll just quickly mention the physios thing. I mentioned it last night, I think, on the watch along. It's Richard Merrin and John Davin, are leaving the club as an overhaul of the medical department continues. They've been here for, I think, is it 23 years? One of them, and the other one has been around for a lot of years as well. So, look, people sort of point the finger at the medical staff, don't they, when all these injuries are happening. I don't know what's going on with injuries at Manchester United. It might be luck. It might be training. It might be the players themselves. It might be the medical department. I don't know, and I don't think anyone truly does, because they would have fixed it. Or maybe this is a part of it. But I've got no qualms with Manchester United having a bit of a change of staff in the background. I think it's needed. When you have an overhaul at a club, you need to do a proper one. Don't do it half-hearted. I think if you go, well, we're going to make some changes and we're just going to change like one of the coaches and one of the scouts, and we're going to bring in a new receptionist. You better not do that, by the way. So yeah, I get it. If you're going to do an overhaul, you're going to do it properly. So we'll see what happens anyway. Bill O'Reilly, who's been a member of the Academy for 31 months. Thank you, my brother. Your support is appreciated. Says, Jay, just want to say you've held yourself very well on the Greenwood discussions. Dispassionate, responsible and thoughtful to all involved. Well done. I appreciate that. Thank you. And I did say this at the time. I thought Joe did a very good video, if you remember, when it happened, or when the case was sort of concluded, when it was concluded. Because when it first kicks off, you have to be wary of what you say, and we said that because there was legal ramifications, there was a case ongoing, and you can't just sort of go in shouting things and giving your opinion when it could jeopardise a case. I know that sounds melodramatic, but I come from a journalism background. I'm fully aware of what can happen. Now it has been resolved. I think, as I've always said, United just need to move on. Mason Greenwood needs to move on, regardless of what you think of him. He needs to move on. He needs a club. Manchester United needs to move on, and this looks like it's one that just sort of solves the problem, shall we say. Let's talk about Kobbie Mainoo and Joshua Zirkzee then. This is the picture. Fabrizio Romano tweeted it. It's mad, innit? We've actually got a picture that isn't that great quality. Usually when you have a picture of something, you've got 80 different variations of it, and they're all in 4K. But this was like a split-second moment, it feels like, that the cameras picked up on, of Kobbie Mainoo and Joshua Zirkzee just, saying hello. Well, you can't see a lot from that picture, but I can tell straight away that Kobbie Mainoo is saying, Josh, which is what he calls him, come to Old Trafford, we'll definitely win the league next season. And Zirkzee is saying, yeah, I agree. 21 is coming. I'm up for it. Love Ten Hag me. He's a beautiful ball genius. I think that's what that conversation went like. So hopefully we'll see Joshua Zirkzee very soon. Stephanie Griffith says, big up Jay, 69 likes. I love this. Matty Gigi says, fed up of how long it's taking them to pass the ball to Kobbie. They only give him the ball when he has a wall of opposition in front of him. Rice is too careful. You saw that picture of Declan Rice giving Kobbie Mainoo advice, which I think is ridiculous. I know Declan Rice has got more experience, but I don't even think Declan Rice has been that good in this tournament. I don't. I think if you look at each game, he's not been all that. Kobbie Mainoo's been outstanding in every single game, and I think Rice has been bang average. But I get senior players are always going to give sort of junior players, if you can call him that, advice and tips. I just don't think Kobbie Mainoo needs it. I think Kobbie Mainoo is the most mature and assured midfielder that England have got. Carmo says Kobbie defo calls him Zirkzee over a pint down the Swan and Roses. Yeah, I can see that happening. I just want to talk briefly about Kobbie Mainoo and his performance last night, because it was another one of those, wasn't it? I think every sort of game we're talking about Copa Mainoo, we're talking about what he's doing and the performance he's put in. I think it was Statman Dave who tweeted last night after the game. It was like 100% tackles. This is just Copa Mainoo. 100% tackle win rate, 100% duels won, 100% long passes completed, 36 passes completed, 2 interceptions, 2 out of 2 tackles won, 1 key pass. He was first for almost all those things. 19 years old in a Euros final. I mean, he's having such a great year, isn't he? He came into the side in November after that injury that he picked up against Real Madrid in Houston, which was really frustrating because it sort of robbed him of the first part of the season. Was amazing at Goodison. Since then, he's just gone from strength to strength. The winner at Molineux, the goal against Liverpool, the performance against Liverpool in the FA Cup as well. Let's not forget that one. And also the performance and goal in the FA Cup final, just absolutely ridiculous for a young lad to be putting in these kind of performances. And I'm just so excited about Copa Mainoo. I mean, it's easy to get carried away, but I've never seen this before at this level. I've seen players burst onto the scene and they've had like a purple patch where they've been amazing. Like Kiko Makeda for like 3 games was unreal and helped us win a title, and you're like, wow. But he didn't do it for like 6 or 7 months, and he didn't then go and play for his country and do it in a major tournament and get them to a final. Marcus came onto the scene, scored loads of goals, scored on his debut, 2 on his debut, scored against Arsenal his Premier League debut, scored the winner at the Etihad, got into the England side, scored on his England debut, and you're like, wow. But then he had a little bit of a lull, but it was a little where he sort of plateaued a little bit, and he certainly didn't keep going for England and get us to the Euros final, though, to be fair. He didn't get much of a chance under Roy Hodgson in that 2016 tournament. But I've never seen it like this, where a player's come in at 18 years old, got into the Manchester United team in midfield and just smashed it, and then done the same with England. Let's not forget Copa Mainoo was 3rd choice for Gareth Southgate at the start of this competition. Trent Alexander-Arnold was his first choice in midfield. That didn't work out. Then it was Conor Gallagher. That didn't work out. And Copa Mainoo has made that position his own. I'm a big fan of footballers who just force the issue, and that's what he's done. He's got on with it. Fantastic. Let's talk about some transfer rumours as well. We've got a couple of stories doing the rounds. I think this is about Ugarte, sorry. Yeah, United undecided over Ugarte. You can see it there in the Manchester Evening News. I think this has come from The Athletic. And it just says that not every member of the hierarchy is sold on the idea of signing PSG midfielder Manuel Ugarte. It says there is interest in a playmaker, but there is hesitancy over whether to make a bid for for the Uruguay star. It's thought that discussions about his possible arrival are still in the early stages, with an approach not guaranteed. We'll have to wait and see what happens with this one. I like to see him. I've been sold on this idea. The more I see of him, the more I like. I think he could fit into that midfield. I think a midfield 3, maybe of him, Bruno, and Copa Mainoo would actually work. We'll have to wait and see, though. We know we've still got Casemiro at the minute. I don't know if he's going to get much game time. There's talk of him going to Saudi Arabia, possibly. I think we're seeing the end of Casemiro as a top-level player, personally. I hate to say that. I don't think last season was a blip. I think it was the decline. I think that's what we're witnessing. You've also got Scott McTominay, different type of player completely. Does he fit into that midfield? I know he played in the FA Cup final and did a very good job. Scored a lot of goals last season. I think you need a different type of player in that midfield to Scott McTominay, a player more like Manuel Ugarte. We'll have to wait and see what happens there, though. Did you see the Copa America last night, by the way? Uruguay and Colombia. It was all kicking reeds off in that game. There was fighting and all sorts. I think you saw Darwin Núñez climbing into the stands and throwing a load of punches. I mean, he probably missed with all of them, but he was throwing a load of punches. I think there was some talk that the families had been either or, say, attacked, but verbally abused by the Colombia fans. So the Uruguay players were kicking off about that and trying to get into the stands. All got very messy. And I think, what's his name? Luis Suarez ended up biting someone. I forgot his name then. I mean, it's par for the course, isn't it? Suman Nayak says the Glazers burdening United with the rain bill is proper nonsense and messes with PSR. Everything the Glazers do is just horrible, innit? Stefan Holm says loan him and loan Lenny Yoro too. Ines Fushi says Núñez looking at a massive suspension following for throwing a metal chair at a fan. Really? I didn't see that. I mean, to be fair, he probably missed, didn't he? Let's have it right. We know what Darwin Núñez is like. But yeah, he could be in a bit of mither. And I'm not really bothered. United's transfer target should be queuing to play with Kobe. It says Stephanie Griffith. I agree with that one. Alfred Shape says that Núñez misses so many chances. Yeah, loads of good stuff. Chase Parker says, Nunes throwing punches and missing. Jay, you're on fire. Thank you. What a lovely way to round this up. We're going to be back later on with Off the Bat. It's going to be myself, it's going to be Joe Smith, and it's going to be Stephen Howson. So make sure you're checking that out. Go and check out the review of the last night's England game if you care about that. Also, there's a really good interview with Joe and Florian Plettenberg, who went through a lot of our targets. That's up on the channel. So go and check that video out as well. If you're not doing, make sure you are subscribing to Abby J. Moy. This has been the Paper Talk. Thanks for watching.